Hello and welcome everyone to the Amsterdam Chess Open 2024 Round 2. My name is Joe. I'm given the honor of commentating for Phoebe's game. We've got some moves on the board. This is Phoebe's second round. She drew her first round, and now it looks like we have a Roy Lopez on the board. The chess.com board might be on a bit of a delay. I randomly timed this start, so we might have to pause the video and go back a little bit. Okay, we have some moves coming in. All right. I think we're gonna pause the video a little bit. Or how bad do you guys think? All right, hold on. Let's pause. Let's give it a little pause. Just a little pause. Just don't worry, just a few seconds. This is how you set a delay. This is for fair play effect. Right, we take these tournaments very seriously. All right, we're gonna let it play now. Let's see how up to date this is. I've got the clocks as well. It's a little. There we go. I'm a professional, you guys. That's why Phoebe brought me in. Anyhow, how's everyone doing? Good morning or good day, wherever you are in the world. Thank you, Z. Good to see you. Whose FIDE rating is higher now, mine or Phoebe's? That's a great question. Is this Phoebe's FIDE 1600? I think mine might be a little bit higher. But I think Phoebe is still the stronger player, regardless of the ratings. Hi, Jenny. Hello. Shout out to everybody tuning in. PMD, Screws, Derp. We've got all of the fans in chat. Alan, shout out to Spenny and Z, of course. So yeah, Phoebe's opponent, I think, has an estimated rating of 1400. I don't know where that estimate came from. But I do know local experts estimate that Phoebe's going to win regardless. Okay, we might have to pause the video again. Hold on. They're playing some pawn moves here. H3 definitely was a move played by Phoebe, and I love it. I love that move because Black had just played D6. And when you play D6, you're getting ready to bring out your light square bishop as Black. So we won't be having that. Anyways, A6 kicks the bishop back. We're going to do a little bit more sinking here. All right. We should be good. This should be just right. Chef's kiss. Hello, Ofta. Did I shout out Alan yet? Or Bowties Live? Honestly, there's so many people to shout out. So just shout out to everyone. If you're here, if you can hear me, you're a real one. Absolutely incredible. And if you tuned in for the first game as well, I mean, oh my goodness, you're better than me. I mean, most people already are. But yeah, that round a little too early for my time, unfortunately. I think it was a 4 a.m. start for me. But shout out to Sam. Know he did a great job. I tuned in when I woke up to see a little bit of the highlights, the review. And it seemed, from what I'd seen, he crushed it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I could have maybe put it on a sped up version, just like cram the whole 3.5 hours into 3.5 minutes, but couldn't find a time speed that would make that work. Anyways, Roy Lopez, we have A6, kicks the bishop back to A4, and she's played C3. This is really common. After a move like B5, we could go to B3 or to C2. Looks like he's just played B5. If you go to B3, you kind of provoke the knight coming to a5 just a little bit, but she goes straight to c2. And this is a solid move, helps support the center and eventually prepare for a d4 pawn push. Now, she could bring her dark square bishop into the equation first before she pushes, but she could also just push right away. Something about this is after takes, when the c pawn moves, you kind of give up a little bit of control over the b4 square. So the knight could continue the hunt for the light square bishop, which is slightly annoying. So sometimes you could even play a3 first before you play for d4. Looks like opponent castles. Phoebe has already castled. So now she can continue her development. She's got a couple minor pieces left on the back rank. She can decide to bring her knight. She could play bishop to e3. She plays rook to e1, supporting the center further. I think this is still in book. What's up, B Skywalk? Good to see you. Hello, Jenny. Tuning in, making sure she's getting all the chats. All right, we have a prediction in the chat, and the prediction result is a draw. So I think we're paying out the channel points from the previous round. So perhaps we can do a prediction for this game. Hey, Lazy Sat, good to see you. All right, both sides, rooks in the center. And now Phoebe plays knight b to d2. And with the rook on e1, this knight can reroute its way to f1 up into g3 or e3. And it's a very common idea to do that, actually. The knight on g3 is nicely pointing at this f5 square and can be also supported by the other knight going to h4. Now, knight h4 is actually kind of a risky play because you line up your knight opposite the queen. There could be knight sacrifice ideas with discoveries, although that wouldn't work now because we have a rook guarding the e-pawn that would defend. There could be some sharp tactics there. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't go for knight h4 yet, but that could be coming up. So Phoebe continues with her plan. She seems to be very much in prep, which is good news for Team Phoebits. Shout out to the Phoebits. Yeah, Phoebe dressed up for Halloween. I think she had some vampire teeth. Anyways, computer hated this move. Absolutely given it a huge question mark already, and it's super early on. I don't know if Phoebe's going to just blitz out another move or if she's going to take some time here and think. Opponent has gained 4 minutes on the clock. I believe there's a 30-second increment. So very peculiar move choice here early. Computer's already reading over 2.5 point evaluation in White's favor with the move d4, counterpunching in the center, attacking this dark squared bishop. And yeah, an early b4 pawn push from black. This move actually looks like we could be winning a piece, right? After knight f1, this further supports the queen's support of the d file. So when the bishop comes to e6, knight f1 is actually a huge threat. b4 just completely misses it. So Phoebe could win a piece already here on move 12. She just has to push in the center. And I think Phoebe's got her spider senses tingling. She looked up at her opponent like, am I missing something here? Am I not just winning it? I think she sees it. I think she was very much ready for this. So this could be a huge opportunity very early on. Opponent playing like it's a blitz game. Phoebe, she doesn't do it. She just continues with the motions. She brings her knight to g3. So missed a huge opportunity. You have to calculate these pawn pushes. Anytime you can attack a piece, it's worthwhile because you might have some tactics. So the opponent let off the hook big time. Phoebe being very kind. She didn't want to just blow him off the board. She gets up. She is completely unaware of the tactic that she missed, unfortunately. If she had seen it, she obviously would have played it. And if she had seen it after, I mean, yeah, opponent also completely blundering back. They've both left the board. They're like, all right. So Phoebe just gets up, walks away, like, yeah, I just played knight g3. Now it's your turn. And now this guy's like, all right, I'm gonna leave the board too. And they've both just completely left their pieces hanging. So let's see if Phoebe gets back. Maybe she'll be a little refreshed. And also, when you're this early in the opening and you're playing this fast, taking a step away from the board might be a great time to kind of reset and just slow things down a little bit. Take a deep breath, and she might come back to this position and then realize, hey, there's a fork. And you know what? This could also just have been part of her prep, because if she played it before, it was over plus 2.5. But now, after queen d7, it's saying this is over plus 3.3. So, you know, who are we to say that Phoebe missed it? Clearly, Phoebe's very much in prep. And this guy just absolutely walked straight into it. Here's another thing that makes queen d7 a little bit worse for black, and maybe a little bit more obvious for Phoebe, is that after you play d5, the bishop's just trapped. There's no retreat anymore. Like, it's not only a fork, but the resources available for black are just diminished. So, yeah, and we see the opponent has come back. He's not taking his seat yet. He's just kind of hovering over, and maybe he realizes now, perhaps. And that could also be part of his strat, is to just not be there, because he could give off some big tells depending on his face, his reaction, his nervousness. So if I were him, I would just stay away, maybe. Try not to give Phoebe any more hints. Not that she needs it. I think she's going to come back, and I think she's going to play d4 on the board and win a piece. So, okay, yeah, he's hovering. He's sticking around. He might also just not realize, but the more you kind of sit on the position, the more likely you are to realize. Thank you, Christy. It was quite the battle. So, yeah, excited to see Phoebe come back and play a crushing move. Love when there's tactics. Are we doing Movember, Chelato? I don't think so. It's Jover for the opponent. Not quite, Joshua. I wouldn't say it's Jover. And believe me, I love to say when it's Jover. So, but not quite yet. Opponent has permission to not notate. I have never heard of that. Is he not annotating? Thank you, Screws. Yes. Very professional. Yeah, how many other streamers are there? There's Anna Maya. I think there's Zach, the chess nerd. Who else are we missing? Is not Joel there? Anyone else? Apparently there's a lot of cool Dutch chess players. All right, Phoebe has returned with drink in hand. I like this guy sits down at the same time too. Arms folded. Let's see, Phoebe grabbing her pen. She's like, all right, what'd he do? writes the move down. How long will Phoebe take for this thing? Because I don't know. I hope she doesn't autopilot. She's got to really assess what's going on right now. She's got a huge opportunity, huge fork. She just has to push her D pawn. And lo and behold, the tactics will unfold for her in her favor. She will win a piece. Actually, yeah, computer likes bishop a4 even better, surprisingly. Or maybe it's not surprising. I don't know. But this knight is kind of indefendable, right? So, all right, there she goes. D4 on the board. Phoebe's winning a piece. Let's go. And now opponent, he has to realize his actions have consequences. Oh, he's hesitating a little bit. He's grabbing that pawn. So he's trading. Phoebe's going to take back. Ginny says there's one more. Ginny, are you not playing? Did you want to play? All right, Phoebe takes back. And now opponent's going to have to give up a piece somewhere somehow. So he might go into a little bit more of a think here and decide how to do it. Look at him. Yeah, he's just not happy. Bishop back. And now Phoebe's going to lay down the hammer. D5. Forktown. Population, Samir. Bishop a4 also completely winning, by the way. Phoebe bullying her opponent. I mean, he's really asking for it, right? Like, he's the one that put the bishop on e6 and then the queen on d7. So Phoebe gave him the opportunity to correct his mistakes, but he didn't. So Phoebe was very, very kind, very generous, making sure to give him. She was like, "Are you sure? I'm gonna play my knight to g3, and I'm gonna get up and walk away. All right, we're gonna both pretend like we didn't see your blunder. So you have this one opportunity to fix it." And when she came back, he didn't fix it. So he really asked for this. There you have it. Fork is on the board. And now it's Phoebe's game to win. So she's going to get a piece. But the game is far from over. Unless this guy resigns right now. There's no way. I mean, hey, that'd be nice and easy. But do we really want to see that? I don't think any of us wants to see that. We want to see this game continue on. This guy is going to reset a little bit. And he's going to try to fight on. Down a piece. And Phoebe still has to convert. So, long ways to go. Playing a rapid tournament on Sunday and next Sunday in the National Chess League. Oh, good luck, Ginny. Is that a team event? Opponent's rating is estimated 1400. Okay, he's full sending it. He's going for the sacrifice. You know what? This is even better for Phoebe, though, because can't she take on c6? Little intermezzo? Is this two pieces? Two pieces for Phoebe? If the opponent watches this back, I have to say a little piece of advice. Take it if you will. Feel free to leave it. I would slow down a little bit. You've gained 3 minutes, and you have 90 minutes, and you might be going down 2 pieces, and we're on move 16. Like, I suspect this kid is actually a lot better than 14. Maybe like online. I'm not sure. Uh, this is definitely, I think, reminiscent of kind of like an online pace, like a speed chess pace. But yeah, these are rough decisions to be playing like bishop takes on h3. This definitely like wasn't the plan going in, and he's kind of improvising like on the fly. So this is a big opportunity for Phoebe to take on c6 first. I think it's actually really important that she does that, because if you take on h3, for example, queen takes, and now if Phoebe takes here, this is losing because of queen takes g3, taking advantage of the pin. So Phoebe can't just like be taking pieces willy-nilly. She's got to really think this through, and she is. And this is definitely a great time to be thinking. And you can see Phoebe's actually spent some time on her clock. She's got her arms folded. She's sitting back, right? She's not making a move any second now. She is calm, cool, collected. She knows she's better. She's not rushing into anything. Her opponent just sacrificed on her king side. A sacrifice not to be taken lightly. And Phoebe has an option here. She has a decision. 2 pieces attacked by her pawns. You can only take one at a time. So you want to take the knight because it comes with the tempo against the queen. So if she takes on c6, she wants that queen to take back the pawn, because she doesn't want to take on h3 and invite the queen into her position. She will do it, but then she has to ask herself some questions, right? Like, how do you protect your knight on g3? Do you move it? Do you break the pin of the dark square bishop? Probably like bishop to e3 or something. But we'll see. Phoebe's using her time wisely. She's going to show us a masterclass on how to convert an up a piece or potentially 2-piece position out of a Roy Lopez. So I hope you all are ready to take notes. Phoebe's about to show us how it's done. She's unfolded her arms, and now she's leaning forward. She's getting into the attack position. And now here she goes. Okay, she's done it. She's taken the knight with the tempo on the queen. Piece up for Phoebe. Queen back to c8. And now she's going to go for the 1-2 punch. She's going to get the second piece. Eval's skyrocketing, almost +5. She's got a discount +5. It's +499. As close as it gets. I don't know what more the computer wants, but we're doing great. She has a second piece that she can take now. And from there, it's really just kind of the follow-up. How do you protect your knight on g3? She'll see that her f-pawn is pinned. I think bishop e3 is the way to go. Just trade off that dark square bishop. It's kind of annoying to have the queen all up in the king's space, because the queen on h3 actually limits every single king move. The king will have no moves. So the king is not going to be so comfortable, but I think he's going to be happy to give up a little bit of his kingside safety for the material, because if Phoebe can neutralize the dark square bishop, it's going to be very hard for black to continue an attack with so few pieces. The knight can come to g4, right? And in normal circumstances, this could be very scary with the queen on h3 because there could be mate threats. But the knight on f3 does a great job of protecting the h2 square. So Phoebe has enough pieces around her king to justify capturing another piece, because she's not going to get mated right away as long as she is able to defend, right? Because the queen coming in is an attack against her, because the knight on g3 will be hanging because the pawn on f2 is pinned. So as long as Phoebe takes and gives a moment of time to make sure she doesn't lose material, a move like bishop to e3 is going to be enough to neutralize the pin and save her knight. So Phoebe can go up 2 pieces, which is a winning advantage by a lot. Being up 1 piece was good, right? She was able to find the fork in the center, and then the opponent overreacted with the bishop sacrifice. And you don't want to be sacrificing when you're already down. So Phoebe has done it. She's taken the second piece. She's up 2 pieces to none. Opponent gets 2 pawns out of it. But it's not going to be enough. As long as Phoebe can defend here. Bishop to e3. This is the top choice. She needs to break the pin. She needs to see that her knight on g3 needs some help. So bishop e3 would be a great move. She might be a little worried about the knight coming to g4, but she has plenty of time. So Samir, again, recaptured and walks away. Yeah, shout out to Nigel for the opening prep. Absolutely crushing it with the Roy Lopez here. You have a question in Z Effect about organizing a chess tournament in your high school. Where can I ask? You should ask in Discord. You can hit me up on Discord. But definitely appreciate all the chess organizers giving players the opportunity to compete and play. Always fun to have people come together for tournaments. Obviously, playing chess is something we all more or less enjoy. But the time between the rounds, socializing, getting dinner, hanging out, playing some blitz on the side. I think that's another funny thing about chess tournaments is, like, obviously in the tournament, people are coming together to play. But then when you're not playing, you're still playing. But you're like, hey, you want to play some blitz? Like, when you're not playing chess, you're still playing chess. Some people go to these tournaments just to play blitz. And I speak from personal experience. Joe, if you were white and Magnus Carlsen was black, how confident would you be in converting? In this position? Dude, I mean, I would feel pretty confident. But recently I was in Cancun and met with Magnus, not for the first time, but for the second time. I actually got a chessboard signed by Magnus, but I was watching him play in a simul with some of my coworkers. Phoebe's played bishop e3, by the way. All-star stud move. Absolute beast. Recognizing the threat and neutralizing it. Also, simplifying, trying to trade down into a 1 endgame. Thank you, Shadok. Welcome. His world traveling. So for those of you that don't know, chess.com has an annual meetup, and we just came back basically this week from Cancun, and Magnus was there. Hi, Erud. Good to see you. Thank you for the positive vibes. my favorite opening is the Italian. But anywho, okay, opponent has played queen to g4. So now she should trade bishops for sure, 100%. Doesn't have to, but I think it's a good move. All right, so Magnus was playing a 25-minute no increment simul against 8 players. And one of them is Aujolin, who's also a streamer. You might have seen her on her own channel, but she's also been streaming as a commentator for chess.com on their main channel, specifically, most recently for Team Chess Battle. Shout out to Team Ratata. Anywho, Aujolin is a woman international master, very strong player, definitely much stronger than me. And she was actually cooking against Magnus. She was grabbing pawns. She was pinning his rook to his queen. Like, he literally walked up to the board and was like, I clearly didn't see that. He blundered, and she capitalized. She won a pawn plus an exchange. She was up 3 points of material. I think it was the best position out of the 8 games. And then he just brought an attack like out of nowhere. He just brought all the material he had straight to Aujolin's king, and it did not end well. So when you ask me if I could convert this against Magnus, like, I've seen what he can do down material, and it's not pretty. Like, I feel like I could, but it's another thing once you're actually there and you're like getting under fire from all of his, just the way he coordinates everything is just, it's different when you can see it and experience it in person. Derp saying I might be inclined to play knight h2. It's true. Computer likes it as well. It just cooks the queen, and offers a queen trade actually. I'm definitely grabbing the bishop. What I like about taking the bishop is not only are we trading minor pieces, but you're also forcing a capture back where this d pawn is actually going to be hanging. It's going to be very weak, and your c pawn is now passed. That's a passed pawn right there. You're also doubling these pawns, so there's a lot of good reasons why the trade is good. Now, you can't just take the pawn right away because, well, you kind of need your queen to defend this knight. So knight h2 is still a very good move. In fact, you can trade and then play knight h2. Try to offer a queen trade there, and you're also protecting your knight, renewing the attack on the pawn. So lots of great options here for Phoebe. She's got a ton of time. There's absolutely no rush. She's just cooking right now. This could be one of Phoebe's most dominant games of all time. And we're lucky enough to be witnessing it live from Amsterdam. Looks like a slightly rainy day. Maybe a little cold. I mean, what time is it? It's like 4 o'clock or something. I don't know. You got people riding bikes out there. I hear that's a common thing. Phoebe probably rode her bike there. All future games now, Screws? Yeah, this weekend, unfortunately, I'm a little busy. If I'm allowed to promote what I'm working on, tomorrow is going to be the Collegiate Chess League's week 6. All right, looks like someone just dropped off a piece of paper there. And I don't know, I think the kid's looking at, I don't know what it says. Maybe we zoom and enhance. Does anyone? Was that an arbiter? An organizer? Oh. Phoebe has played knight h2. So she's kicking that queen around. Oh, it's for the results. It's a results slip. Okay. So the guy was like, "Oh my God, this poor child is getting absolutely wiped off the board. Let me go give them their result sheet." Phoebe sniffing out the queen trade. I do want her to trade bishops, but um, maybe Phoebe knows the bishop's really not going anywhere anytime soon, and she wants him perhaps to trade so that she can recapture with her rook, get a little rook lift in, you know? She's taking a sip. Phoebe, she's looking good as always. She's got her nails done. She's got some earrings on. She's playing good. She's looking, they say look good, play good, feel good, right? Like it's all connected. So we're seeing a confident Phoebe here. So queen trade has been declined. She can bring her knight back to f3. She should not. I mean, you can repeat once, but uh, yeah, the opponent would go straight back to g4, I suspect. Um, that might be the only. I guess you can go to h3. Anywho, she can trade bishops yet again. The computer's actually saying knight f5 now. Just continue being a nuisance to this black queen. Knight f5 is also pretty annoying. Attacking. And honestly, playing knight f5 now is actually better than trading bishops because your bishop helps guard the g5 square. So if you trade now and then play the knight to f5, then the queen has g5 check available. So that's kind of annoying. So we'll see if Phoebe's giving herself some options here. Knight f5, attacking the queen. And where does the queen really go? Like, honestly, it goes to h5. And that's going to force the queens off the board. I guess they could go to h3. But, I mean, yeah, it's just you play queen f3 and the queen's trapped. You cannot leave the queen on the board any longer than that. So if she can trade the queens off, there's really no counterplay for black, right? Like, when you're down material, you want to leave as much material on the board as possible, especially the queens, because the queen is such a powerful attacking piece. The queen can generate so much counterplay, so much activity and checkmating threats. And black has been annoying with the queen. Really, it's the most active piece. It's the closest to Phoebe's king. And we have a capture, maybe a slight break on the DGT board. But yeah, the capture is going to free up some space for the queen. So knight f5 is perhaps less tricky now. But Phoebe should still be in a very good place here. I might have to manually fix the board. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope that it fixes itself. Alan confirming that Phoebe is even more glamorous in real life than on stream. Wow. A sight to behold. I haven't met Phoebe in person yet, but Phoebe has had rumors of visiting the US. Who knows? That's what Phoebe said about you. Yeah. I've heard Dutch people are very tall. Is that also true? The chess nerd is Canadian. I know. Or he's from Canada. But I feel like he's been to the Netherlands a lot of times. He's always traveling, playing chess. Jenny's not tall. Alan is honorary Dutch. He is very tall. How do you get your honorary Dutch title? Because, you know, I might have a fake Dutch last name. I don't know if that counts for anything. You're 6'4". Holy smokes. Oh, he's in the Netherlands for school. Okay. Zach's also very tall. So he fits right in, is what you're saying. He could be an undercover Dutch. You need a Dutch person to grant it to you? That's all it takes? Is does Hans have an insider Dutchman to grant him honorary Dutch title? There's a guy walking outside. I don't know, like, did his bike get taken or maybe he's not Dutch. Maybe he's just a tourist. That would be me if I ever visited. Just walking around. I do like, but I had a bike in my old place. And now I'm sad now because I reminded myself I left my bike back home. That was like the one thing that I didn't bring. If I had like maybe an ounce of foresight, okay, there's the guy with the bike. All right. The same guy maybe? Maybe he just parked his bike somewhere. Who knows? Uh, but yeah, I didn't have like a bike rack for my car. Anyhow, you have four bicycles. Okay. Very, very Dutch, right? Like no one just has one bike. Is there any Dutch people in the chat that only have one bike? I'm asking you to out yourself. Average Dutch bike collector. You're Swedish. Okay. So you have four bikes. Oh, you got an electric one. That's cool. Jenny only has one. Math Master only has one. Phoebe has zero. You have zero bikes, Jolo? Are you Dutch? Pizza Racer took everyone else's bikes. He could give three of his bikes and then everyone could have at least one. Okay, Durkia has two. I wonder what the average is for a Dutch. The average, it's got to be above one, right? Like when you're born, they give you a bike, little baby-sized bike with the training wheels. I feel like maybe you guys will get rid of your training wheels before you learn how to walk. Your bike is worth 5? That's a nice bike. Jolo goes on 4 wheels. All right, I'm glad Jolo's laughing. I mean, okay, you could say it's kind of like two bikes connected, right? Two road bikes, one city hybrid bike, and a new electric one. So you're ready to go. It's a pro racer bike. You race, Santos? 1.7 bikes per capita. That checks out. You get an additional one every 3 years to account for your growth. Stay for the bikes. Guys, listen. I think the DGT board's broken. Like I don't actually know. Hold on. I think we need the organizer to fix it. Like I got carried away. I was looking at the background. There's a guy back there, you know. Uh hmm. Let's see. Yeah, this computer like we had this weird trade of bishops. So it really should have been bishop takes b6 and then pawn takes b6. But what ended up happening, well, the computer registered it as, I don't know, the bishops met somehow on c5. So, uh, hmm. Maybe Phoebe's next move will fix it. Fingers crossed. Let me reach out and see if we can. do a little something, something. Hmm. This is maybe when we would have someone live on the ground reach out to an organizer. Anyways, happy Halloween yesterday. Hope everyone was able to celebrate. Um, Maybe I should like put some moves in myself, you know. Maybe we can do some analysis here. What happened? What did Phoebe do after this? Let's see. I think she brought her queen in, and then I think Black just lifted their rook somewhere. Maybe. Rook here. Does that look right to you guys? Any objections? Oh yeah, Phoebe's sister's there. Looks good. Okay. We're gonna just work with the analysis board here for the time being. Hey, look at that. The board just got fixed. Beautiful. Make my job a little bit easier. Man, if I had to start making the moves myself, I mean, man, we could have gotten into some disasters there. But crisis averted. Phoebe maybe maybe making me a little nervous when she didn't play the fork immediately the first time, but once she got it that second time, really making things easy for me. So, what would the stream be without a little bit of a hiccup? Really, the game is almost too smooth sailing. Can I say that? It's still, I'm gonna like do the commentator's curse or something. I gotta let Phoebe finish this one off here. So Phoebe clearly trying to get some queen trade, right? She's bringing the queen over to f3. She's building the defense around her king. She's still very safe. Opponent has lifted a rook, so perhaps trying to cause some trouble on the king side. But Phoebe very much still in the driver's seat. And when I say driver's seat, I mean the bike seat, because I don't think Phoebe knows how to drive. But she does know how to ride a bike. So she's in her element. Very comfortable. Yeah. Here, the computer wants her to complete development, bring the rook from A to D1. Just putting the rook on a semi-open file, just targeting the weakness here. And that's another good thing about the rook lift is typically black likes to double, right? Or this rook might swing over or something, but black always has to keep in mind Phoebe's got this pawn. And honestly, like black could just try to go for it right away, but they didn't. They lifted their rook. So that's why rook AD1's so good, because if black goes for the pawn, she can recapture with defense. Otherwise, it's not that easy to defend the pawn. It's not like you can go bishop to defend it because the pawn can always cut you off. It's not like you can swing the queen around because the pawn is here, or there'd be like rook here anyways. That's another idea. So rook here, if we're in time to recapture and defend, that'd be marvelous. So we'll see. Phoebe's also got to be thinking about knight f5, because something about this rook lift that's annoying is that it's just another attacker on her king. But knight f5 kind of locks the rook out a little bit, and it also just targets that pawn again. So knight f5, very solid move. Of course, you do have to keep in mind there is a check to behold. Now, after the check, though, you can try to block with the queen now. And their queen's a little short on squares again. So we'll see. But I like that Phoebe's using her time, right? She's not rushing her decisions. She still has an hour on the clock, and she's up 2 pieces. Meanwhile, opponent still has more time than he started with, but has less pieces than he started with. So, bold strategy. I don't know if we like that trade-off for him. We definitely like that trade-off for Phoebe. Phoebe will take that trade every time. Isn't that what people say about like kid opponents? Is you gotta like get them to an end game, make it really boring. They're gonna lose attention and focus. So Phoebe's absolutely playing this to a T. Maybe even literally. I didn't see what she had in her cup, but I'm assuming it's T. Perhaps a question for the post-game interview. What's up, Paul? Good to see you. Hi, Storm. Not yeah, it's an hour and 32 minutes. It's wine. Ofta with the hot take. Phoebe's pre-gaming during her game. She's just gaming. No, okay, all right. Wow, look at this. Rook AD1. Top move. Just so clean. Professional even. We saw the teabag. Okay. Arlosi paying attention to the details. She's played her move, and now she's like looking around for her opponent. She's looking out at the view. There's another biker. Do we have like a bike counter? How many bikes have we seen so far? Yeah, has Phoebe finished her exams yet? I don't think so. She's still like studying, right? She's playing in a tournament at the same time as her classes. And she's streaming. Man, she really does it all. She had an exam yesterday. Oh my goodness. When did I develop the obsession with bikes? Well, it helps that I had one. I think bikes are just fun. But also like it's it's a common thing in the Netherlands, right? Okay, so knight to h5. He's offering a trade. Phoebe can take the knight with her knight, and then black will take back with the rook, threatening to take her knight on h2. And here's where it gets a little tricky. Here's what I don't like about trading is that if Phoebe goes queen to g3, offering the trade and defending the knight, rook to g5 now is going to win her queen. So this is something that she should be a little bit worried about. It's a little dangerous, right? It's not clear exactly how you would defend your knight. So she should not trade knights here. As counterintuitive as that might seem, you're up material, so you want to trade material. But she should not invite the rook to the h file, because that's going to give a lot of counterplay. Instead, she should play knight f5, right? Keeping the knight on the board, attacking black's queen, and shutting the rook out from the 5th rank. Screw's asking a good question. How's queen g4? Queen g4 is a good move, right? Trading queens, potentially. I'm wondering if we could even just take this pawn. Nothing wrong with that, right? 1800 strength tuning in saying I would play queen g4, always trade queens. 1800 strength. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm a pawn grabber, dude. Look at that juicy pawn right there. But yeah, 1800 strength. Was hoping to have him on broadcast this weekend in tomorrow's match in the Collegiate Chess League, Northwestern taking on Arizona State. But unfortunately, I think 1800 strength is going to take the day off, let his teammates get the job done. Cabbage, we don't encourage queen trades here. What are you talking about, Fly? Phoebe is the queen of queen trades. Speaking of queens, I think someone asked me if I saw Arwen the other day. Yeah, I did see that. He did a great job, honestly. And shout out to Phoebe and the Phoebits for making that reality possible. Did anyone see me dressed up as Gandalf yesterday for the Halloween stream? What's my rating? My FIDE is like 1700. My online rating is like 2200. Jenny saw it. Legend. Thank you, Joshua. You were team okay, Jenny. You weren't convinced by the Zeus? The Zeus had his own hair that he did not wear. But maybe I'll post that picture later. But yeah, Santos. Queen g3 would be good after knight f5, queen g5 check. Both good for Phoebe and for me. Because what's good for Phoebe is good for me. We want to see Phoebe win, so also makes my job a little easier. Thank you, Ofta. The full beard and staff. No, I think the Gandalf redeems are going to just stay with the hat. The hair and the beard, it's a bit much. It's definitely not comfortable, I would say. Unfortunately. Yes, Torque. Phoebe has just been putting on a clinic. Welcome back, Lit Memes. How was the gym? You're tuning in to witness a historical beatdown from Phoebe. Yeah, Fly. I didn't have the time to grow out the eyebrows, unfortunately. You might say to yourself, "Well, Joe, you've had like decades to do it." Well, it turns out you actually have to be really old to have your eyebrows grow out that long. I looked into it. I don't have the time or the wisdom, unfortunately, yet. So, and now you might be asking yourself, well, Joe, you could have just ordered some fake ones. Yeah, I don't really have an excuse for that. I didn't get the fake eyebrow extenders. Gandalf's been around for millennia, right? So, hi, Dijon. Good to see you. All right. We're going to give you guys a quick recap. We got some people tuning in. We've got a Roy Lopez from Phoebe. E4, E5, knights out, bishop attacking the knight, and bishop to C5 from black. Phoebe castles. She plays H3. And now bringing the bishop back. D3, guarding her e-pawn. C3, creating space for her bishop. B5, bishop back to C2. Castles. And now here's where the opponent maybe mistakenly developed. This is a very natural square to go to. However, you have to keep in mind the threat of the fork. So Phoebe brings her knight back, and this helps prepare for the pawn push. Now, she didn't do it. She could have won a piece here. Instead, she continued with knight to G3, and this was the last opportunity for black to really kind of save the position, maybe move the bishop back, right? Not an easy move to make, but perhaps a necessity. Or bring the bishop back. Something has to happen. Otherwise, d4 is going to hit, and it's going to hit hard. And that's exactly what happened. Black played queen d7, and Phoebe, not allowing for the opportunity to slip twice, capitalizes with d4, attacking the bishop. After the bishop goes back, she plays again d5, pushing that pawn for a fork this time, winning material. Now, the opponent had a lot of time still on the clock, and does currently as well. Could have perhaps taken the pawn and moved the knight or something along those lines. Instead, overreacted with the sacrifice. Bishop takes h3, and this allowed for Phoebe to take both the knight and the bishop. And from here, she defended well with bishop to e3, tries to trade queens, and now brings her rook in. And this catches us up here to this current live position, knight h5 being played. Phoebe should not trade, as this will invite black's rook to attack her on the h file. Instead, what she should do is a move like queen g4 or knight f5, essentially trying to encourage a queen trade or attacking the queen, blocking out the rook. Or I even think just taking the pawn is probably fine too. Because why not? Why not just grab? Prometheus asking, what about bishop to b3? I think bishop b3 is also a very, very solid move. Just attacking the pawn, attacking the king, forking the knight. Lots of great moves. There's lots of moves that win or are winning. I mean, she is already winning. So she just has to simplify. And it's counterintuitive, right? Because trading is simplifying, but trading is also inviting black to attack us. What I didn't like about taking is now our knight's hanging, right? So the computer is saying you shouldn't even defend the knight, which is really unfortunate. Because if you try to bring the queen around, right, you're going to get pinned by the rook to your king. So this could be a trap that Phoebe falls for in the position. So black is not giving up. They might not be at the board, but they might be bored with Phoebe's strategical time think here. All part of the plan. She's about half the opponent's time, but it's more than enough time for Phoebe to convert this position. She's still looking at all of her options, weighing the pros and cons. Bishop b3, take the pawn, knight f5, queen g4. The problem is Phoebe has too many good moves. She's so good that she just can't decide. It's a struggle that only the best players have to deal with. Most of us don't have to. Most of us are like, man, all of our moves are bad. That's what makes it difficult to play a move. For Phoebe, it's like, man, every move wins. What am I supposed to do? Everything wins. It's almost impossible. Hey, Last Coder, good to see you. All right, take care, Lit Memes. Thanks again for stopping by. Yeah, the opponent definitely is not resigning. And honestly, like, you never know how long of a thing Phoebe could go into. Like Phoebe could be 2 moves away from blundering her queen, right? Like we just looked at a very simple line where she trades knights and then puts her queen on the G file and gets pinned. And Phoebe also, like, I don't know how long she's been on this move for, but it's been what feels like at least over a handful of minutes. She could go into a really deep think here and put herself into time pressure. And in time pressure, Lord knows what could happen. Anything could happen in time pressure. Time pressure makes a fool of us all. And so opponent might be down material. It's true. But the opponent still has the queens on. Still has potentially winning tactical ideas. What's funny is Phoebe could lose her queen and still be winning. But obviously, we don't have to do that. We don't want to do that. But there's still reasons to play on here. There's chances for black to come back. You never really know what could happen. And besides, it gives us something to, to watch and be part of. We don't want an early resignation. We need Phoebe to prove her technique, her conversion skills. Winning the pieces is not enough. You have to win the game. And there's still much left in this game to be played. So Phoebe on the clock, still deciding which of her good moves she wants to play. And here she goes. She's going for the pawn. No, she goes to d5. Trying to trade off that rook. Also very smart decision. Because this offers even more trades. And if black takes, then the pawn takes back, and that's going to solidify her past c pawn. And it's going to open up her bishop on c2, which could really help aid in some checkmating ideas with the queen. So very, very calm move here from Phoebe. Trying to neutralize another one of these attacking pieces. This also renews the threat of taking the knight on h5, which previously she didn't want to do. So, of all of the winning moves, Phoebe has played one of them, which is all that we can ask for. She's doing a great job. All right, so black has doubled rooks. And now, I mean, Phoebe, if she really wanted to, she could play c7. I don't know if I would do that necessarily. But can she take on h5 now? Right? I mean, isn't that one of the purposes of rook to d5? Like, what happens if she does that? Is that another free piece for Phoebe? Oh, you know what's interesting? When they double rooks, that pins the e pawn actually. So if knight takes, there's rook takes on d5. You could sack the exchange. You could just take, and that trades down a little bit more actually. So it's not like that dismissible. Captain Ketchup saying she found your move. Is she reading chat? No, I'm just kidding. Santos predicted this one as well. Probably rook ad1. The computer wants to trade. Rook takes. And then play c7. So that's actually that's a pretty fair point, right? c7. I mean, trade then rooks then c7. Okay, you guys wanna we wanna look at some stockfish here. Rook takes c7, and wants rook here. I was wondering if we could just take at this point, take, and then we just queen, right? So that's pretty fun. But they have rook takes c2. So maybe now we play bishop b3. And then, okay, the computer can block the file, right? Oh, also rook takes pawn. Well, no, rook takes pawn, you hang this. Well, either way, Phoebe's back in her same dilemma. Everything's winning. And when I say everything, I mean almost everything. Surely there are some moves that lose here, right? Like queen f4. Okay. All right, so Phoebe's not going to do that. All right, anyhow. Okay, so she's played rook e to d1. She's really going after this pawn. Just kidding. I think she wants to trade and then play rook d5 again, if I had to guess. One of her many winning ideas. It's true, plotter. Phoebe could do a lot and still be winning. The time, though? It's no time to panic, Dijon. I don't think she's nervous. I don't think she's nervous. She's very much in control. she has so much time. Some could even argue too much time. I wouldn't argue that, but some could argue that. I'm sure Phoebe would gladly take an extra 40 minutes. But, I think it's a good thing that we have a clock because there are other things that I have to do today. Because I'm pretty sure if there was no clock, uh, who knows when Phoebe would make some moves. I remember commentating for Phoebe where it was like she would make a move with like barely any time left, and it's like, well, at least she was like forced to make a move, right? Otherwise, she wouldn't. There's no clock. She could just think about it all day, and I don't blame her. I think there are some positions where it's like it's a shame that there's a clock, right? Because you're like this position is just so rich and so deep, and there's just so many different ways that you could play it. Truly. But okay, so rook lift from black. Very interesting. Now she might trade, um, and she also might push. C7's really strong. She could take the knight on h5 now. That should be free because it wasn't free earlier because the opponent could take the rook on d5, taking advantage of the pin on the e file. But now after Phoebe wisely brought her rook to double on the d file, there's no longer a pin on the e file. So that is a free knight. You can take that. You can also trade. You can also push. So Phoebe's just got to put some finishing touches on this board, and that's going to be all she wrote. So yeah, opponent perhaps didn't come to play today. He just was like, all right, let's just let Phoebe do whatever she wants. And what she's been wanting has been nothing but good moves. So let's see what she decides to finish with. She's moments away from converting this. Opponent's defenses are dwindling, if you can call them defenses. Why not c7 now? It's a good question. She very well could. That's actually the top computer choice. That's move suggestion number 1 is pushing the pawn. Move suggestion number 2 is to take the knight with her knight. Free piece. Why not? When you're up 2 pieces, you don't need to be up 3 pieces, but I don't think anyone's ever complained about being up too many pieces. Storm, thanks for appreciating Gerbs. She must like the tea. Do we know what kind of tea it is at the playing hall? Also, shout out to Sam. Welcome back, Sam. How's it going? We have no idea what tea it is. Okay. Should I ask my resources? Just kidding. All right, she's traded rooks. She's taken 1 rook off the board. Opponent recaptures. Does she go for rook d5 again? Remember, if she plays c7, there's rook c5. A little annoying. Not too annoying, but perhaps annoying enough to play rook d5. Computer's not suggesting rook d5, but it's still very much a winning move. Maybe now she goes for the d pawn. I doubt it, but that'd be funny. There could be Mm, no, I don't know. I think she'll play rook d5. Like rook d5 is very on theme for the last like two or so moves that she's played. So I would not be surprised. Rook d5, a move so nice that she wants to play it twice. I think would be on brand for Phoebe. We can ask Phoebe about the tea. You guys, if Phoebe has finished the game in the next, in the last 15 minutes, she very well could be watching and lurking in the chat. She could be already won. Wow, she's going for the C pawn push, C7. And that pawn is one square away from promotion. So, rook C5 is one of the few moves that black can play. Interestingly, computer says there's knight f4, allowing the queen with check. And that's +7 for white still. Not saying knight f4 is a defense. It's saying rook c5 is the top move, +6.7. Rook e8 is the second move, +7.3, because, well, rook here gives us the free knight. And then the third best move is knight f4, which is only +7.6, allowing the queen with check. So, very interesting. And then you can bring the second queen over to g4. Anywho, expecting at least one of these two moves, really, the only moves. I mean, could you like go here? Wow, that's what he did. That was like literally the third other move that I could see that stopped promotion. But now, I mean, can she play knight g4? Like, okay, that's only the second best move. Okay, best move is knight f5, which cuts out the rook, the queen, and offers a queen trade because the knight defends our queen. And that's what Derp's calling for. So Phoebe can cut the queen's defense off, but black still has some resources to get the... Well, okay, knight f5, though, the queen's also hanging, actually. So if you trade queens, you can queen with check, intermezzo, and only then recapture. Man, Phoebe's good. Dirt's been wanting knight f5 a lot. Hey, knight f5, it's just a good move. They call it knife f5. That's how good it is. Opponent should resign. Maybe after knight f5, queen takes f3, queen, king h7, knight takes f3, it's resignable. Maybe. But Phoebe still has to play knife f5 and queen with check, intermezzo, and recapture the queen, assuming black does trade queens. After knight f5, it's very difficult not to trade queens. After knight f5, the computer says the best move is to play rook c5, Botez Gambit. You do get the bishop on c2 for it, though. So, but to be fair, you will also then lose your knight on h5. Okay, she on true brand has played rook d5, much to the dismay of Derp. But if we looked at this line, Yeah, best move is here. Take. I mean, this is reading forced mate. Oh no, we're forked. Okay, we lost our piece. We're getting checked. Anyways, hopefully you guys can see this is a good position for white. All right, Queen H3. So knight F5 or knight G4 not played. Phoebe continues. Rook D5. Maintaining a almost +7 position. This kid just he just took a deep breath and looked up at the sky, but I don't know if the heavens could help him at this point. He's not even looking at the board. He's like, he's at the point where like he sees better moves for Phoebe, and she's not even playing them, and he's like, "What am I doing here?" We've all felt that, right? At some point where I'm like, man, my position is so bad. And my opponents are playing so, like, they're not even playing the best moves, and I'm just getting crushed still. Phoebe's just keeping them on the edge of, like, utter defeat, but, like, still taking, like, 10 minutes per move. Just an absolute psychological victory for Phoebe on top of the position. It's just a rough spot to be in. How'd Phoebe do this morning? She had a draw. And now she's looking to get in the win column with an absolute masterclass piece. Masterclass game here. All right. Opponent leaning forward now. Let's see what he can muster up. Any defense would be quite impressive. Quite the feat. Yeah, he'll recover. He'll bounce back. He's a young lad. Lots to learn still. Can look back at this and improve from it, right? That's all you can do as a chess player. You win some and you lose some. And the best you can do is learn from it. So, he's slowing down now, like he's finally below the starting time on the clock, but it's a little late. So what he has to do is learn to use his time before it gets to this point. Okay, so we have a knight trade. And now Phoebe can take back with the pawn. Probably she'll want to take back with the queen. And she can take with the queen now because she's not going to get pinned by the rook, because she wisely took that into account. She could also just trade rooks. So, options for Phoebe. Yeah, rook d5 is a very classy move, right? It's not flashy. It gets the job done. Neutralizes the rook's threat, creates her own threats, really forces the opponent's hand here to trade and simplify, which is exactly not what black wants to do, but it's what black has to do because Phoebe's defenses are too strong. Phoebe's playing too good. Entrepreneur saying sandbagging and unrated gets you banned. How can you sandbag in unrated? You mean just throwing games unrated? I think chess.com had recently changed their policies about unrated games, so you should just not do any funny business in general, rated or otherwise. But there's really no way to manipulate your rating if it's unrated, I guess is my point. Yeah, I don't know why opponent doesn't have a score sheet. Well, if you're dropping your elo entrepreneur, then that's not unrated. That means it's rated. So yeah, that would be against the rules. Yeah, Phoebe, she's looking at how to recapture here because she's got a lot of great options still. Well, yeah, entrepreneur, if it's unrated, then they're not dropping their rating. Your rating won't change if it's unrated. Isn't queen takes the simple? Yeah. Trading trading with the queen, offering the queen trade definitely is the simplest. If black tries to keep the queens on the board, then you can trade rooks, right? And if you trade rooks, black only has a queen left, and you still have a knight and a bishop. Okay, she's going for it. She's trading with the queen. And now, let's see. Black has to bring their queen back somewhere. So probably they should go to d7. And what's funny about that is we can play rook takes d6. And the rook is going to be hanging. If queen takes rook, then we queen with check. So lots of great options here. Again, still for Phoebe on her way to a smooth victory. Queen D, yeah, there's also queen takes e5, taking advantage of the pin. All right, the queen comes all the way home to c8. So now the computer still wants the queen capture. Queen takes rook. That would be move of the game if Phoebe plays it. Queen takes rook, queen takes e5, taking advantage of the pawn's still pinned. Even though there's no queen on d7, the pawn is still pinned because rook is going to come in with a check, winning the queen. It's fine. Oh, she trades with the rook. She trades with the rook. You know, it's very simple. She's playing simple, good moves. Not too flashy, not too fancy. She doesn't need it. She doesn't need it. She just needs to keep on trading and simplifying. She doesn't need anything more than that. She's going to take this pawn, she's going to defend her c pawn, and she's going to comfortably be up two minor pieces with a new queen on its way. Seriously, there's no right or wrong answer here. No right or wrong answer. She's just scooping up this pawn, defending her c pawn. Computer can see checkmate coming up. Best move is queen d7, rating at +8 over +8 evaluation. I'm not screws. I'm not. I'm really not. I should tell her that she blundered. Her only blunder was knight g3, and it wasn't even a blunder, it was just a miss. So, other than knight g3, I don't think Phoebe's made any mistakes. Am I wrong? A near perfect game for Phoebe. She should have played knight f5 every move. I don't need to tell her that. What, that she played a near perfect game? Not playing queen e5. I mean, I cannot fault her for trading rooks, right? I mean, like she's doing really. How many of you are perfectionists here? How much better did you guys really want Phoebe's game? Let's see what Phoebe goes with. I'm expecting maybe she goes like knight f3. Physics, a perfectionist. You used to be one, now you're a good guy. Good enough guy. Queen takes e5 for the Instagram. True. You wish you could understand, Aurelia? I have a playlist on YouTube that I recommend people watch. It's from Jerry from the Chess Network. It's his beginner to master series. Highly recommend it. He takes you from start to finish, basically, explaining the basics to the master level ideas. Yeah, Jumpy, he's very much over it. He's like, why is she not just checkmated me yet? You could do it. Quintana Chess, thank you for the raid. Hello and welcome everyone to Phoebe's round 2. You guys are tuning in at the perfect time to see Phoebe put the finishing touches on an absolute masterful conversion of a winning chess game. So if you guys ever found yourself in a winning position and you're like, how do I convert? This game would be really good to take a look at. And I know a lot of you definitely have been in winning positions before. Maybe hoping more times than not. But let me take you from the start of this game, just for everyone tuning in, joining in. Let's look at it real quick before they shake hands, because we might see the end at any moment. So we have a Roy Lopez from Phoebe with the white pieces. This is round 2. She started off with a draw earlier today in round 1. And she's playing this really well. She castles, rook to the center. She brings her knight in. And now this is where her opponent really messes up. After knight back to f1, Phoebe's threatening to push the d4 pawn, right? Now, she didn't do it, unfortunately. here, but she did do it here, and that's all that matters. She gets the attack on the dark square bishop, and then she gets the fork. So this is just a free piece for Phoebe. Now, her opponent messed up, and they give her 2 pieces. So he takes first on c6 with the tempo on the queen, and then she takes on h3. So she's up 2 pieces here on move 18, which is absolutely phenomenal. So she goes for a queen trade. She simplifies. She brings in her other rook. She neutralizes the rooks, right? She trades them off. And now she trades off knights, trades off rooks, and now she's up 2 minor pieces past c-pawn that's defended. And now she's just going to put her bishop on b3, and she's going to checkmate this guy. So, yeah, queen to c6 played on the board, keeping an eye on the promotion and putting some pressure on her bishop. Now, unbeknownst to this guy, he's actually helping Phoebe do what she wants. She's going to put her bishop on b3, and the queen can no longer defend both the promotion square and the f7 pawn. So Phoebe's going to crash through and promote, or find checkmate, or both. So we're just waiting to see how exactly she does it. Bishop b3 on the board. She's done it. She's played it. And now black has an impossible task, a dilemma. How to stop the pawn and defend f7. There's no way. The queen cannot control both of these squares at the same time, right? You could go here and say, well, I'm doing it this way, but no. She's going to crash through. She's going to sacrifice on f7 temporarily. If the queen recaptures, now we queen with check. We're winning that queen. And if you don't take, well, that's a fork. So Phoebe's going to win the queen either way. This is an absolutely one position. Phoebe is a move or 2 away. This kid might resign right here. No. Okay. Queen check. A measly check for Phoebe. She's going to be able to dodge this one. No problem. She's either going to move her king. She could block with the queen. She could move. She could play knight g4, putting herself into a little bit of a pen, but it's not going to be a problem because there's going to be a queen on the way. So Phoebe, being the artist that she is, she's going to show us. She gave a really quick glance there. That reminded me, if you're ever going to meet Phoebe at a tournament, just be sure to not walk in front of her camera, because otherwise you're in the danger zone. She can throw a glance like no other. Anyways, queen g4. I love this move a lot. First and foremost, blocking the check. Queen's defended by the knight. And the queen guards the promotion square. Wait, he did not just play queen. Okay, yeah, queen c6. Queen c6. We've had maybe a handful of DGT issues, but okay. Second queen on the board. She's done it. It's also a check. And he's going to have to trade queens, and he does. And now all she has to do is trade queens back, and now she's going to be up a queen and 2 minor pieces. Ignore the DGT board. The DGT board has not seen moves this good. It's getting a little confused. Anywho, she should have forced mate now. That might even be her in the chat watching her masterpiece being played out. Queen check. And the f-pawn's going to fall. What's up, Nick? Good to see you. Hey, Abby. You want to be her when you grow up? We all do. Spoiler. Phoebe, what? Are you in the chat? Are you spoiling the result? People don't know yet who's going to win this game. Don't spoil the result. No, Kappa. Okay. She's grabbing the F pawn with the queen. I don't know, guys. Would you have taken with the queen or would you take with the bishop? I don't know. Tough to. She didn't spend that much. She's got over 30 minutes left on the clock. Okay, but opponent has played king to h8 and queen g8 is checkmate. He didn't even go to h7. He could have maybe ran away a little bit. I don't know. He didn't really try that hard in the end there, unfortunately. But claps all around. Congratulations, Phoebe, with an absolute masterclass demonstration with the Roy Lopez, crushing, winning two pieces in less than 20 moves. Absolutely dominant performance. First win of many of this tournament. She is undefeated out of 2 rounds. Unbelievable performance. Okay. Are we going to do an interview? Let's see. We're gonna have to do some little tech lift here. Interview. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for Phoebe, be sure to put them in the chat. Hello. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can add this. Sorry, am I loud? Okay. Now the people can hear you, I think.
Right.
The audio's not great, I'm not gonna lie.
My from my side.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, wait.
we've got giant Phoebe cam. It's exactly what the people want.
Wait, let me check my mic. Oh, oh.
Uh,
Is this better? Hello, hello,
I
hello.
think it's a little similar, but it is probably fine.
Okay, because I'm using my AirPods.
Okay, I think you're good.
Okay, okay, good.
All right, well, welcome Phoebe, and congratulations on an amazing victory. Your first of hopefully many. You did a fantastic
Yeah.
job with the Roy Lopez. How do you feel right now?
Okay. I felt like I struggled a bit with the conversion. Like I feel like I should have done it better.
Oh,
Because I was so nervous all the time because he played so fast in the opening, and I was like, oh, "What is happening right now?" And he kept blitzing out moves, even though he was down material. And I was like, "This kid, he sees something that I am not seeing," and I was really nervous.
well, you didn't look nervous. You looked like it was a very smooth conversion, start to finish. Um, when you first played D4, you actually took a little bit of a break. You left the board to go, I think, get some tea. And
Yes,
a big question from all of us is what tea did you get?
green tea.
Green tea. Okay. Is that a favorite or is that just what they had?
They have multiple, but I wanted to have something with caffeine. Oh,
Phoebe's smacking us around a little bit.
sorry, I thought maybe I can make it better.
All right.
No.
Well, you look great. We were saying, look good, feel good, play good. So it all came together, and we could definitely see it in your play. How confident were
Cute.
you with the prep and the Roy Lopez?
Um, I mean, no, I felt comfortable when he played Silvery Lopez. I was like, oh, that's okay. I just think I could have played D4 earlier. I think I didn't think about that. When I saw D4, I was like, oh, but I could have done this earlier. Felt really stupid. Um, But I think the opening was fine. He really intimidated me because he played so fast. I was like, I'll start to play fast because I cannot keep calm then anymore.
Yeah, I think it was only one move earlier you could have done it. You played knight g3 instead, but he also didn't see it. He played like queen d7 or something. So yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely still capitalized on it. And I would say your knight g3 move was a miss and was the only move of the game that you could have maybe done better. So everything before that and after that, I would say was flawless.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was really smooth sailing. Really, I don't you could have maybe like you said converted better, but like
Yeah.
what difference does it make if you find, you know, a +8 evaluation move compared to like a +7 move, right?
Yeah, but it's nice to have a clean, sorry, clean conversion
Well,
because it could have been smoother, could have been nicer.
it was already clean and smooth, but if you want to say like it could have been nicer, then I think that I can agree with that. There was one move in particular I think people really wanted to see, where he traded knights on g3, you take back with your queen,
Yeah,
and then he brought his
yeah,
queen all the way back to c8.
yeah,
At that
yeah.
moment, you took the rook with your rook, but you could have taken with your queen because if his pawn takes back
Because if takes, then rook check with the and then I can promote, right?
exactly. I think that's what the people really wanted to they were looking for. But
Now I see it.
now you know. Yeah, you could have really flexed like on him with the queen sacrifice.
I just was very stressed all the time. I just wanted the pieces off. I was like, they have to go. So I didn't really look at anything else. So just at any traits. Even though there's also traits, but I didn't look at it.
Yeah, I think when you traded both the rooks off by doubling on the d file and going to I think it was d5, I thought that was very classy to trade off, right? You could have probably done a
Thank
lot of
you.
other things, but I think that was neutralizing kind of the last threats that he had. And
Yeah, because I was scared because his rook was gonna come to the G file and stuff. So I was like, I have to stop this because he's getting a lot of counterplay and I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
yeah. And then I think there was one last conversion method that some fans in the chat were pointing out. After you pushed c7 and you're promoting
Yeah,
on c8, he plays queen to h3, guarding that c8 square. You could have blocked their
yeah,
queen with the move knight to f5. That also would have
yeah,
threatened the
because
queen
I
trade.
was considering when the queen was on h3, I thought maybe I could go queen to g4, I think. Because I'm on this diagonal.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
thought maybe that, but I don't know. I didn't go for it.
yeah. You ended up trading rooks there, I think. But
Yeah.
either way, I think you did a great job. So
Thank you. Thank you. How did the commentary go?
commentary was really smooth sailing. I made sure that I wasn't, you know, leaking the position early or I had to adjust the video a little bit. Also, I think it's really smart that we're doing the video through YouTube and not through a Discord call. So that way I can't even mistakenly be unmuted and talking to you during the game. So that was really smart of you to set it up that way. So I think we're getting
Thank
better.
you.
We're learning from our mistakes.
That's exactly why I did YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful and it's an honor that you would invite me back again to commentate PB. So I was a little
No,
nervous,
the honor
but
is mine. The honor is mine that you was a commentator on my game.
yeah, okay. Well, I hope that we have more opportunities in the future. So yeah, and I know
Yeah, what
you're
are you
playing
doing next weekend?
next weekend. I thought you already had the. If you want to know the truth, I'm commentating already. Well, no. Well, so there's the Collegiate Chess League that's happening on Saturday, and then I think there's like the Creators
Yes.
Cup on Sunday. Um,
And nothing on Friday.
Friday, I was lucky enough to do it today, so hopefully next week, if you need someone, you just let me know whenever.
Okay, that's very generous.
Yeah. I'm glad, and how lucky are we to not only be able to still commentate and watch your game today, but also to see such an awesome performance. You just absolutely destroyed the competition. It wasn't even close.
I mean, I was a bit lucky though that he blundered the
A
fork
bit
with the
lucky.
pawn. And yeah, and I mean they were both unrated, so
I think
like
that we're the lucky ones to have witnessed such a masterclass, and you got to give yourself some credit for your absolute raw talent and ability and your skill, your strength. That was just an absolute awesome performance that we witnessed. So thank you so much. It was an absolute honor, and
thank you.
I want to wish you
You're too
best of luck.
kind.
You've got a couple rounds left, and we're all looking
Yes.
forward to see how you're gonna do now that you've got some points and maybe you're gonna play some stronger opponents.
Yes. I'm excited to see what I'm playing tomorrow. I hope I play someone with a rating. That'll be very nice.
All right. Well, hopefully you can get some rest, get some food, and yeah, thanks again and good luck.
Thank you, Joe, for doing the commentary today. I really appreciate
Honor's all mine. All right. I'll talk
it.
to you later and yeah,
All
good luck
right.
again.
Should I start a raid on my channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you
Okay.
raiding? You gonna or are you gonna let the
Maybe
mods decide?
Anamaya. I think she's like that would be like yeah. I'm gonna rate Anamaya. I think. Or
She's
are you
playing in the
gonna? Are you
tournament.
gonna?
No, I'll raid her too.
You? Oh, okay. 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 You're not gonna stay on. Otherwise, I would rate you.
No, I have work to do.
Oh, okay, it's Friday. Yeah.
It's a weekday, yeah. No. No, don't worry, Screws. I'm not staying on either. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Dan. Thanks for the kind compliments. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, I think Phoebe is frozen or left. But anyways, we're gonna get the raid sent. I will see you all later, and be sure to tune in tomorrow. Phoebe's got 2 more games. All right, show Anna Maya some love. She's playing too. I'll see you all over there. Bye.